Hey guys, welcome back to the part 2 on the tutorial of our short skirt and crop top. So I am just showing you guys the sleeves I had already cut out off camera on paper, which I would be transferring to my fabric very soon. So I folded my fabric into 4. Reason is because I want to cut out my 2 sleeves together. So guys, I'm just marking out 1 inch from the armhole area of my sleeves. So guys, go ahead to do the same thing too. So I added 2 more extra inches to the length of my sleeves because I wanted my sleeves to be longer. So where I have my tape rule is the new length of my sleeves. So what we're going to be doing now is to mark 12 inches down because of the type of sleeves we're trying to achieve. After indicating your 12 inches, just put a mark there. After marking my 12 inches, what I'll be doing next is just to make sure that what I did was correct. So this is just me making sure that my 12 inches is right. So right now, I'm just showing you guys the extra inches I added to my sleeves. So what we are going to do now is to connect the points we made from the armhole down to the length of the sleeves. After connecting the points together, the next thing to do is to cut out our sleeves. Please guys, do not forget I told us we would be folding our fabric into 4 in order to cut our 2 sleeves together. Please, while cutting out your sleeves, do not rush, take your time. So what I'm just doing now is to take out the pins that are attached to the brown paper and also the fabric. I would be dropping a tutorial on how to draft basic sleeves very soon, so you guys should stay tuned for that. After cutting out my sleeves, I'm just going to be opening it up for you guys to see. So yeah guys, this is how my sleeves are looking like, and this is how yours should be looking like too. Because of the butterfly sleeves we are trying to achieve, we would be coming up by 2 inches from the bottom of our sleeves. After coming up by 2 inches, draw a slant line from that 2 inches down to meet the end of the sleeves. After doing that, go ahead and take your scissors to cut out that slant line you just made. So what I'm just doing right now is showing you guys the front and the back piece of my top. Yes, this is just the front and the back piece. And also my sleeves. So guys, please put your sleeves away for now because we will be focusing on the top now. So please go ahead to turn your neckline with a bias. for both the front and the back. After you must have turned your neckline with a bias, go ahead to join your shoulders together. After joining my shoulders together and turning my neckline with a bias, this is just me showing you guys how it looks like, and this is how yours should be looking like too. The next thing we would be doing is to turn our tops like this, because we would be fixing our sleeves on it right now. After turning our top this way, the next thing to do is to make sure the right side of the sleeves and the right side of the top are facing each other. After you make sure they are facing each other, go ahead and pin both the sleeves and the top together. Make sure you pin them together from the beginning of the armhole to the end of the armhole. After pinning my sleeves to my top, I went to my sewing machine to sew the both of them together. So guys, go ahead to your sewing machine to sew your sleeves and your top together. The next thing we would be doing is to hem the bottom of our sleeves. So fold the bottom of your sleeves like this and sew it round. After sewing it round, this is what it looks like. Make sure you do that to the other sleeves too. After hemming the bottom of your sleeves, guys, the next thing we would be doing is to close the sleeves together. So go ahead and close the sleeves by 1/2 inch. After doing that, the next thing to do is also to close the sides of the top by 1/2 inch. After closing the sides of the sleeves and also the sides of the top, the next thing we would be doing is to hem the bottom of the top. After hemming the bottom of the top, this is just the finished look. We are done with the top already, and I just love how beautiful it came out. So after doing yours, I believe yours should also be looking like this. So guys, we're moving into the next step of our tutorial, which is cutting and sewing the skirt, and these are all the materials we would be using. The first thing we'll be doing is to fold our fabric into 2. Then from your starting line, mark down your waist. In order to know what your waist measurement is, do your waist measurement divided by 4. My waist measurement is 25, so I did 25 divided by 4 and I got 6.25, and I marked 6.25 down. After marking my waist measurement, I added 2 extra inches, one for that and one for ease. After doing that, I'm going to determine from the starting line where my hip line is going to be on my fabric. So take your tape rule from the beginning of your starting line to where you have 8.5 on your tape rule. If you're someone with bigger hips, you can go down by 9 inches. So from that 8.5 I marked down by, I'm going to be marking down my hip measurement divided by 4, which is 37 divided by 4, 9.25, and 1 extra inch for ease. This is just me showing us the step all over again from where we marked our 8.5 down to determine where our hip line will be. Please guys, don't forget I told us that if you have bigger hips, please go down by 9 inches, not 8.5. After doing that, the next thing we'll be doing right now is to determine how long we want our skirts to be. The length of the skirt I used was 19 inches and an additional 2.5 inches for hemming the beginning of the skirt or the top of the skirt, and also hemming the bottom of the skirt. So whatever you have on your hip measurement, measure the same thing on the line of where your skirt stopped. After doing that, connect all the points together from the beginning of the skirt to the end of the skirt. That is from your waist to your hip to the length. So what I'm doing right now, guys, is to curve out the sides of where my hip is on the fabric. The reason for me doing this is in order for me not to have pointy hips after sewing my skirt. After doing all of that, the next thing to do is to cut out the front part of the skirt. The next thing we are going to be doing now is to fold the front piece on top of another folded fabric, which is going to serve as the back piece of the skirt, leaving 2 inches out, which is going to serve as the zip allowance of the skirt. After doing that, you're going to cut out the same thing you have on the main piece on also the back piece. But please guys, make sure you're not to touch the 2 inches allowance you kept for your zip while cutting the back piece of the skirt. Please make sure you cut out exactly what you have on your front piece on also your back piece. So guys, the next thing we are going to be doing is to cut our back piece into 2, just like I am doing here. So after that, we're going to determine where the dart is going to be on the skirt. From the beginning of your skirt, go in by 4 inches till 5 inches, because that is the distance of how the dart is going to be. After doing that, make little notches on where you are going to take in your dart. After doing the notches, you're going to fold your fabric inside out like this, yes, like this, and sew that place by 5 inches down. We are going to be doing that for the sides where we took the notches for both the front piece and the back piece. So guys, this is what my dart look like after sewing it. I expect yours to be looking like this too. After doing the dart, the next thing we're going to be doing is to take our back piece. From where we have the zip allowance, mark 9 inches down. The reason why we're marking 9 inches down is for the placement of the zip. After that, from that 9 inches, mark 7 inches down for the closing of the skirt. So right now I'm just going to be touching the points we've made. 9 inches for the zip, 7 inches for the closing of the skirt, and the remaining inches for the slit the skirt is going to have. So from where the 7 inches of the closing of the skirt started from, we're going to rule out 2 inches and rule a straight line down to where we have the ending of the 7 inches. Guys, you see the way I'm doing my finger like a letter L? That is the same way we should sew it on our sewing machine in order to close up that part of the skirt. So guys, the next thing we're going to be doing now is to take our original measurement for our skirt. So now I'm going to be marking down my waist, which is 6.25. And from here, I'm going to measure 8.5 down to determine where my hip line is going to be. After doing that, I am now going to be marking down my original hip measurement on that my hip line, which is 9.25. 9.25. After doing that, we're going to connect the points we made on our waist down to our hip and down to our length. So what I'm doing right now, guys, is to flip the front piece over to the other side and to repeat what we just did on the side we just concluded with. So guys, I'm just covering out the hip on the fabric because I don't want it to look awkward after sewing it. And I'll cover out the other side of my hip after flipping the front piece of my fabric to the other side. After doing that, face the right side of the front piece and the right side of the back piece together and sew down to the ending of the skirt, just as I am showing us here. Do the same thing for the other side, guys. Sew down to the ending of the skirt. After doing that, this is what I have. This is what I have, guys. So guys, this is my hemming gum. I'm going to be placing it under the right part of my slit. You're going to be folding it into two like this and placing it under the right part of your slit. Right now, guys, I'm just showing you the letter L I told you earlier on to sew that closes the back of the skirt. So place your hemming gum at the right side of your slit and sprinkle a little bit of water and iron it. The reason why we're using a hemming gum is for us not to have a flappy slit. So go ahead and sprinkle a little bit of water there and iron it so it can stick onto the fabric. And on the left side of the slit, fold it just like I am folding here and sew it down. After you must have done that, go to the bottom part of your skirt or the ending part of your skirt and fold it like this in order for us to hem it round. Before fixing your zip, you're going to hem the top of your skirt. So you're just going to fold it like this. You're going to fold it like this and you're going to sew it round. After doing that, we're going to fix our zip because that is the last part of this project or the last stage of this tutorial or this project. So yes guys, this is it. The outcome of the skirt and the crop top was so beautiful and I'm so proud of myself. So guys, that's the end of the tutorial on how to make a crop top with butterfly sleeves and a short skirt. Please make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and turn on your notification bell so you would be the first to know when I drop a new video. See you guys next time and stay blessed. Bye.